In January 2021, a Canadian radio station was running a contest. Remake your favorite movie in 60 seconds. The prize? $10,000. It had been 18 years since I'd done stop motion, but a Canadian winter isn't the ideal time to make a movie outside. Stop motion it was, and this is how I made it. The opening title sequence was shot in a nearby lake in ice-cold Canadian temperatures and was done with a GoPro. As you can see here, I stuck it down into the water and moved it around to create the illusion the shark was swimming, just like in the movie. Now this footage looks a little different. To create the final shot, some tweaks were needed in post. First, I added a day for night filter in Final Cut Pro. Next, I played around with the color board, altered the exposure, and adjusted the saturation midtones to create the final shot you see in the film. Using Lego seemed like the most obvious choice to make the film. To capture each scene, I used Stop Motion Studio Pro. Check out their website below. It's actually a really awesome application. The biggest set piece was the one filming on the water. It took 5 days to build the orca itself, and I had some help to paint a backdrop, and I rigged up a method to move the boat on the water. And thankfully, it worked. Stop motion involves a series of small adjustments, frame after frame, to capture what you want. I would have to move the boat, the minifigures, and anything else required for the scene. Most sets that you see are just a facade, often filled with details we never saw on screen. There was one shot with Brody talking to the mayor on the small car ferry that was done a little differently. Instead of the ferry moving, I moved the background set to make it seem like the ferry itself was moving across the water, and this made it easier to work with the minifigures in the scene to actually get the shot done. The most challenging shot was this one right here. It took 6 takes. You have to dolly out and zoom in at the exact same time, and do this frame by frame. I used a lot of similar techniques that Spielberg and his team used in the making of the real film Jaws. Any questions on how I did something? Leave it in the comments below. But for now, I'm going to leave you with a scene that never made it into the final cut. The contest made it that the film had to be only 60 seconds at max. So, this scene is the one where Hooper and Brody is standing at the bow, and Hooper is trying to take a photo of the shark for the very first time, and he needs something to give it some scale. Foreground my ass!